When disaster strikes, everyone scrambles for food. It's the first thing people panic over, the first thing they fight for, and the first thing to vanish from shelves. But here's the cold, hard truth. Food won't save you. Not by itself. When the power's out, the water stops running, and your fancy gadgets are nothing but dead weight. Those stockpiles of rice and beans won't mean a damn thing. Survival isn't just about calories. It's about the tools that make those calories count. And here's the kicker. The most valuable survival tools aren't the ones you see in flashy prepper kits or viral videos. They're the cheap, overlooked items you probably already own, buried in a drawer somewhere, collecting dust. The stuff no one thinks about until it's too late. These tools will be worth more than food when everything falls apart, and most people won't even realize it until they're desperate. In this video, I'm breaking down 10 everyday items that'll outshine food when the collapse begins. No gimmicks, no overpriced gear, just practical, no-nonsense tools that could mean the difference between surviving and struggling. If you're serious about real survival, not the Instagram version, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. 1. Plain white candles, the light that outlasts the grid. When the power grid fails, darkness doesn't creep in. It crashes down like a hammer. And while most people will scramble for flashlights, batteries, or those rechargeable lanterns they forgot to charge, the smart ones will already have something better. Plain white candles. Not the scented ones that smell like pumpkin spice or the decorative ones in glass jars. I'm talking about the cheap, unscented utility candles that no one thinks about until they're sitting in pitch-black silence. Here's the deal. Candles don't need batteries, charging ports, or solar panels. They don't glitch, short-circuit, or stop working when they get wet. You strike a match, and you've got instant light, heat, and even a way to start a fire. They're simple, reliable, and most importantly, silent. That silence is priceless in a survival situation. No buzzing LEDs, no loud generators, just quiet, steady light that doesn't scream, "Hey, I've got supplies!" to the entire neighborhood. But candles aren't just about light. They're about survival. A single candle in a small, enclosed space can raise the temperature by a few degrees. That might not sound like much, but when it's freezing outside, those few degrees can mean the difference between life and death. And let's not forget their trade value. When everyone else's batteries are dead and they're fumbling around in the dark, a single candle becomes a survival currency. You can trade it for food, water, or even protection. Candles also have a ton of practical uses. You can drip wax to seal containers, waterproof matches, or even make emergency repairs. They're lightweight, easy to store, and dirt cheap. Personally, I keep at least 50 plain white candles in my long-term survival kit, along with waterproof matches and lighters. Because when the lights go out for good, candles aren't just a convenience, they're a lifeline. So here's the question, do you have even one real candle in your kit? If not, you're not prepared. And when the grid goes down, you'll be left hoping someone else thought ahead. Spoiler alert. Hope isn't a survival strategy. 2. Empty plastic bottles. Trash today, treasure tomorrow. Most people see an empty plastic bottle and think, trash. But in a disaster, that trash becomes one of the most valuable tools you can have. When the taps run dry and clean water becomes a luxury, those empty soda bottles, milk jugs, and juice containers you almost threw out last night will be worth more than the food in your fridge. Why? Because survival is all about water. Without it, you're done in 3 days, tops. And when clean water stops flowing, every container becomes a commodity. Plastic bottles are lightweight, durable, and designed for food-safe storage, making them perfect for transporting and rationing water. You can fill them, seal them, and stack them, creating a stockpile of hydration while everyone else is fighting over overpriced bottled water at the last open gas station. But that's just the beginning. Cut the top off a bottle, and you've got a scoop, a funnel, or even a makeshift cooking pot. Fill one halfway with water and leave it in the sun, and you've got a solar disinfection unit. This isn't some theoretical survival hack. It's a proven method to kill bacteria using UV light in about 6 to 8 hours. That's clean, drinkable water from nothing but sunlight and an old soda bottle. Still think it's trash? Let's talk trade value. Imagine offering someone a full jug of clean water when their taps have been dry for days. Or handing over a leak-proof container to someone whose gear got punctured. That bottle becomes worth more than their last protein bar. Personally, I keep a stash of empty plastic bottles in my survival kit. 2-liter soda bottles, gallon milk jugs, and even smaller juice bottles, all cleaned, dried, and ready to go. They're lightweight, take up almost no space, and can be used for everything from water storage to improvised tools. So, the next time you're about to toss an empty bottle in the recycling bin, think twice. In a collapse, that trash might just save your life. 3. Basic hand tools, the power of manual labor. In a world that runs on machines, most people have forgotten the value of basic hand tools. But when the power goes out, batteries die, and everything goes manual. The guy with a screwdriver and a wrench suddenly becomes the most important person in the room. Forget your fancy power drills and electric saws. When the grid is down, they're just dead weight. What you need are the basics. A hammer, pliers, screwdrivers, a wrench, and maybe a small handsaw. Why? Because survival means improvisation. When things break, and they will, you need to fix them. A broken hinge, a jammed door, a leaky container, a loose fitting. These aren't just inconveniences in a disaster. They're threats to your survival. And when there's no repair shop, no electricity, and no tech support, your ability to fix, build, or break things manually becomes your lifeline. Let's break it down. A screwdriver lets you access locked compartments or repair gear. Pliers can tighten straps, pull out nails, or fix valves. A handsaw can break down wooden pallets for firewood or shelter. And a wrench? It can open gas valves, adjust pipes, or fix broken wheels. These aren't just tools, they're survival essentials. And let's not forget defense. A claw hammer isn't just for pounding nails. It's an instant deterrent in a desperate world. No one argues with the guy holding solid steel. Now think about trade value. When someone's only shelter is falling apart and you've got the tools to fix it, you're not just trading gear. You're trading stability, safety, and leadership. That's worth more than any stockpile of food. My setup? I keep a compact tool roll with the basics. A multi-bit screwdriver, needle nose pliers, a crescent wrench, a mini hammer, and a hacksaw blade. All wrapped, sealed, and stashed in my secondary pack. They're not for daily use. They're for the moment things start falling apart, literally. So ask yourself, can you fix what breaks, or are you just hoping someone else will? Because in a collapse, the guy with food eats first, but the guy with tools? He gets invited into every camp. 4. Heavy-duty work gloves. Your hands are your lifeline. When the world collapses, survival gets messy, fast. You're no longer sitting at a desk or scrolling through your phone. You're hauling debris, chopping wood, fixing broken gear, and doing it all with your bare hands. And here's the harsh truth. If your hands go down, you go down with them. That's why heavy-duty work gloves aren't just a luxury. They're survival armor. Not the flimsy cotton gloves you find in the gardening aisle. Not the cheap ones that rip the first time you grab something sharp. I'm talking about thick, reinforced gloves. Leather, rubber-coated, or even Kevlar-lined if you can get your hands on them. These gloves are built to take a beating so your hands don't have to. Think about it. In a collapse, you're dealing with broken glass, jagged metal, splintered wood, and sharp rocks. Every cut, scrape, or splinter is a potential infection waiting to happen. And guess what? There's no urgent care clinic when the system's down. A busted hand doesn't just slow you down, it makes you vulnerable. You lose grip, you hesitate, and in survival, hesitation can cost you everything. But gloves, they give you the confidence to act. You can grab, lift, and build without worrying about shredding your palms. And in cold weather, they're even more critical. Frostbite doesn't care how tough you think you are. Insulated work gloves keep your hands warm, mobile, and functional when you're chopping firewood or setting up shelter in freezing conditions. Now let's talk trade. Gloves are one of those things people forget to stockpile. They'll hoard food, water, and batteries, but when it's time to clear debris or carry supplies, they're stuck with raw, bleeding hands. You show up with a spare pair of gloves, and suddenly you've got leverage. People will trade gear, food, or even protection just to keep their hands in working order. My setup? I pack 2 pairs. One heavy-duty leather pair for rough work, and one rubber-coated pair for wet or slippery tasks. Both are sealed in waterproof bags and ready to go. Because when your hands are your most valuable tool, protecting them isn't optional. It's survival. So ask yourself, are your hands ready for the collapse? Or are you planning to survive with blisters and band-aids? 5. Plastic sheeting, the ultimate multi-tool for survival. Most people think plastic sheeting is for painting walls or covering furniture during a move. But in a disaster, that cheap, overlooked material becomes one of the most versatile survival tools you can own. When the roof leaks, the wind howls, or the rain pours in, plastic sheeting isn't just useful, it's a lifesaver. Here's the deal. Plastic sheeting, especially the thick 6mm kind, can do just about anything. Need an emergency shelter? Stretch it over a frame, and you've got instant protection from the elements. Broken window? Tape it up with plastic, and you've sealed out the wind and rain. Want to trap heat in a single room when the power's out? Use plastic sheeting to create a survival hot zone where you can sleep without freezing. But it doesn't stop there. Plastic sheeting is your best friend in the rain. Stretch it between trees and you've got a rainwater collection system. Clean water is survival gold, and plastic turns bad weather into an opportunity. Need to purify water? Use it to build a solar still and turn contaminated water into something drinkable. It's not just about water and shelter, though. Plastic sheeting can be a makeshift stretcher for the injured, a barrier to keep blood and bacteria separate, or even a way to preserve food by wrapping it airtight. Need to stay hidden? Black out your windows with plastic, and you're invisible to prying eyes. Now let's talk trade. Nobody thinks about plastic sheeting until they're soaked, freezing, or exposed. But when the storm hits, and you pull out a folded 9x12 drop cloth, you've got something everyone wants. That's shelter, warmth, and dryness in one cheap, lightweight package. My setup? I keep 4 folded sheets of 6mm plastic in different sizes. 1 in my bug-out bag, 2 in storage, and 1 in my car. They weigh almost nothing, cost next to nothing. But their value in a collapse is immeasurable. So ask yourself, when the roof leaks or the rain comes through the walls, are you ready? Or are you just hoping someone else thought ahead? Because when the storm hits, the guy with plastic sheeting isn't just dry, he's prepared. 6. Old towels and rags, the unsung heroes of survival. When people prep for disaster, they focus on high-tech gadgets, tactical gear, and fancy tools. But the humble towel? The old rag stuffed in the back of your garage? That's the real MVP when things get dirty. And trust me, in a collapse, everything gets dirty. Think about it. Mud, blood, spills, leaks, broken gear, sweat, sickness. It all piles up fast. And if you don't have a reliable way to clean, dry, or absorb, you're in trouble. That's where towels and rags come in. They're not flashy, but they're indispensable. Let's start with hygiene. A towel isn't just for drying off after a rainstorm. When toilet paper runs out, a towel becomes a reusable sanitation cloth. Boil it, bleach it, reuse it, no waste, no trash, just clean. In first aid, towels are lifesavers. They can be used as field bandages, slings, pressure wraps, or padding for sprains and fractures. When sterile pads run out, an old towel can buy you precious time. But towels aren't just for hygiene. They're survival tools. Cold night? Use one as insulation in your sleeping bag. Got a drafty window? Stuff a towel into the frame to block wind and sound. Need a pillow? Fold and roll. Old rags are just as versatile. They clean tools, wipe down cookware, wrap fire-starting kits to keep them dry, and even filter dirty water before purification. Now imagine this. It's been 2 weeks since the collapse. Water is scarce, and everyone's towels are soaked or filthy. You show up with clean, dry cloths, and suddenly you're the most popular person in the room. People will trade food, gear, or even protection just for the chance to wipe down and feel human again. My setup? I pack 6 towels, 3 full-sized and 3 cut into rags. They're rolled, vacuum-sealed, and stored with bleach tablets. No fancy prints, no fluff, just clean, absorbent fabric ready for anything. So ask yourself, are you ready for the grime of survival, or are you assuming someone else will bring the napkins? Because when things get dirty and staying clean keeps you alive, the guy with old towels is the one everyone needs. 7. Zip ties, the tiny tools that hold it all together. When the world starts falling apart, the smallest things can make the biggest difference. Enter zip ties, those cheap, lightweight strips of plastic that most people overlook. They cost next to nothing, way even less, and yet when disaster strikes, they become the glue that holds your survival plan together. Let's start with the basics. Repairs. Your gear will break, straps will snap, tarps will tear, and bags will rip when you're on the move. Zip ties fix it all in seconds. No sewing kits, no duct tape, no waiting around. Just loop, tighten, and cut. Problem solved, but that's just the beginning. Zip ties are the ultimate quick fix tool. Need to secure a tarp to a tree for shelter? Done. Reinforce a broken crate or container? Easy. Hang tools from your belt or attach a flashlight to a makeshift mount? No problem. You can even use them to build an emergency shelter by fastening branches together. In survival, speed matters, and zip ties are as fast as it gets. Now let's talk security. Imagine you're dealing with a looter or someone threatening your camp. 2 heavy-duty zip ties around their wrists, and you've got instant restraints. It's not just a survival hack, it's a tactic used by police and military forces worldwide. Zip ties buy you time, control, and the upper hand in a crisis. And the uses don't stop there. Hang food out of reach of scavengers, bundle firewood for easy transport, or create makeshift handles for heavy loads. Need to seal a supply bucket or secure gear to your pack? Zip ties have you covered. They're the Swiss Army knife of fasteners, replacing entire toolkits when you're on the move. Now imagine the trade value. You show up at a camp where everyone's gear is falling apart, loose tarps, broken straps, cracked containers. You pull out a pack of heavy-duty zip ties, and suddenly, you're the most valuable person in the room. People will trade food, water, or even protection for the ability to fix their gear. My setup? I carry 3 sizes, 4-inch, 8-inch, and 12-inch with over 100 ties in total. They're bundled tight, stored dry, and ready to go. Because when things snap, rip, or collapse, The guy with zip ties doesn't stop moving. He fixes, builds, and keeps going. So ask yourself, are you ready for when things fall apart, or are you just hoping nothing breaks? 8. Aluminum foil, the survival tool you're overlooking. Most people think aluminum foil is for wrapping leftovers or lining a grill, but in a disaster, that shiny roll of heavy-duty foil becomes one of the most versatile tools in your survival arsenal. It's heat-resistant, moldable, reflective, and lightweight, qualities that make it invaluable when resources are scarce. Let's start with cooking. No pots? No problem. Aluminum foil lets you cook directly over an open flame. Wrap food to seal in moisture, make a makeshift frying pan, or even bake, roast, or steam your meals right on the coals. It's the ultimate no-cleanup cooking solution when every drop of water and every ounce of energy counts. But foil isn't just for food. In cold conditions, it becomes a lifesaver. Line the walls of your tent or place it behind a fire, and it reflects heat back toward you. That's not just comfort, it's survival when temperatures drop. Need to signal for help? Foil's reflective surface can be seen from miles away. Use it as a mirror signal, a makeshift flag, or wrap it around a stick to catch the attention of rescuers. What about protection? Wrap your electronics, like emergency radios or flash drives, in multiple layers of foil, and you've got a basic Faraday cage. It's not perfect, but it offers some protection against EMPs or power surges. In a world where communication and information are critical, that's a game changer. Still not convinced? Aluminum foil patches holes, wraps wounds in emergencies, and even serves as a windbreak. It can be folded into a water cup, fashioned into a fishing lure, or used to seal food airtight. And when the grid's been down for weeks and everyone's cookware is blackened and filthy, a fresh roll of foil becomes a luxury item. My setup? 2 rolls of heavy-duty foil, one in long-term storage and one in my vehicle kit. The cheap, thin stuff? Forget it. That's frustration, not survival. So ask yourself, are you stocked with the shiny silver sheet that cooks, shields, and saves, or are you still thinking foil is just for leftovers? 9. Paracord, the rope that does it all. If you think paracord is just fancy string, think again. This lightweight, durable, and incredibly strong cord is one of the most versatile tools you can carry in a survival situation. It's not just rope. It's a lifeline, a toolkit, and a survival hack all rolled into one. Let's start with the basics. Strength. Paracord can hold up to 550 pounds, making it perfect for heavy-duty tasks like securing loads, building shelters, or even towing gear. Need to tie down a tarp, hang a hammock, or create a clothesline. Paracord does it all, but the real magic of paracord lies in its versatility. Strip it down, and you've got multiple inner strands that can be used for everything from fishing line to sewing thread. Need to repair gear, stitch a wound, or set a snare? Those inner strands are your secret weapon. Paracord is also a lifesaver in emergencies. Use it to make a tourniquet, build a splint, or create a makeshift harness. In a pinch, it can even be used as a fire starter by creating friction. And let's not forget its use in climbing, rappelling, or crossing difficult terrain. Now think about trade. Paracord is lightweight, compact, and incredibly valuable in a survival scenario. A single 100-foot roll can be traded for food, water, or other essential supplies. It's the kind of item that everyone needs, but few think to stockpile. My setup? I carry 2 100-foot rolls of paracord, one in my bug-out bag and one in my vehicle kit. It's cheap, it's reliable, and it's saved my skin more times than I can count. So ask yourself, do you have the rope that does it all? Or are you planning to survive with shoelaces and duct tape? 10. Duct tape, the king of quick fixes. If there's one item that deserves a spot in every survival kit, it's duct tape. This sticky, durable, and ridiculously versatile tool is the ultimate quick fix solution. When things fall apart, and they will, duct tape is what holds it all together. Let's start with repairs. Got a tear in your tarp, a hole in your tent, or a crack in your water container? Duct tape fixes it all. It's waterproof, weather-resistant, and sticks to just about anything. You can even use it to patch up clothing, shoes, or backpacks. But duct tape isn't just for repairs. It's a survival tool in its own right. Need to make a splint, secure a bandage, or create a sling? Duct tape has you covered. It can even be used to make a makeshift rope, a fire starter, or a watertight seal. And let's not forget its creative uses. Build a duct tape wallet, fashion a cup, or even create a makeshift weapon. In a survival scenario, duct tape is limited only by your imagination. Now think about trade. Duct tape is one of those items that everyone needs, but few people think to stockpile. Show up with a fresh roll, and you've got instant barter power. People will trade food, water, or other essentials for the ability to fix their gear. My setup? I carry 2 rolls of heavy-duty duct tape, one in my bug-out bag and one in my vehicle kit. The cheap stuff? Forget it. When your life depends on it, you want the good stuff. So ask yourself, Do you have the king of quick fixes in your kit? Or are you planning to survive with hope and a prayer? 11. Baking soda, the survival multi-tool you didn't know you needed. Baking soda might seem like a kitchen staple, but in a survival situation, it's a game changer. This cheap, lightweight powder is one of the most versatile items you can pack, and it's worth far more than its weight when disaster strikes. Let's start with hygiene. When soap runs out and toothpaste is gone, baking soda steps in. Mix it with water, and you've got a natural cleaner for your body, teeth, and even your hair. It's gentle, effective, and doesn't rely on fancy packaging or chemicals. In a world where staying clean can mean the difference between health and infection, baking soda is a lifesaver. But it doesn't stop there. Baking soda is a natural deodorizer. Sprinkle it in your boots, on your clothes, or in your shelter to keep odors at bay. It's also a mild antiseptic, which means it can be used to clean wounds, soothe insect bites, or even relieve the sting of a burn. Now let's talk about food. Baking soda is a key ingredient in cooking and baking, especially when you're working with limited supplies. It helps bread rise, tenderizes tough cuts of meat, and can even be used to neutralize acidic foods. And if you're dealing with contaminated water, a pinch of baking soda can help balance the pH after purification. Still not convinced? Baking soda has dozens of other uses. It can be used to clean cookware, scrub surfaces, or even put out small grease fires. Need to unclog a drain or freshen up your water storage containers? Baking soda has you covered. And let's not forget trade value. When everyone else is struggling to stay clean or cook with limited resources, a small bag of baking soda becomes a hot commodity. People will trade food, tools, or even protection for something as simple as a way to brush their teeth. My setup? I pack a 1-pound bag of baking soda in a waterproof container. It's cheap, lightweight, and endlessly useful. So ask yourself, do you have this survival multi-tool in your kit? Or are you planning to go without? Because when the world falls apart, the guy with baking soda isn't just surviving, he's thriving. 12. Safety pins. Small, cheap, and incredibly useful. Safety pins might seem insignificant, but in a survival scenario, these tiny tools punch way above their weight. They're cheap, lightweight, and take up almost no space, yet their uses are practically endless. When everything else fails, safety pins step in to save the day. Let's start with clothing. In a collapse, your clothes are going to take a beating. Tears, rips, and broken zippers are inevitable. Safety pins let you make quick repairs on the go, keeping your gear functional without the need for sewing kits or duct tape. They can also be used to adjust the fit of clothing, secure loose straps, or even hold together makeshift footwear. But safety pins aren't just for clothes. They're essential for first aid. Use them to secure bandages, create slings, or even remove splinters. In a pinch, a sterilized safety pin can be used to lance a blister or drain an abscess. It's not pretty, but it's effective. And in survival, that's what matters. Now let's get creative. Safety pins can be used to fish. Attach one to a piece of string, and you've got an improvised hook. Need to organize your gear? Use safety pins to bundle small items or attach them to your pack. They can even be used as makeshift locks to secure zippers or keep small compartments closed. And let's not forget their trade value. Safety pins are one of those items people don't think about until they need them. When someone's gear is falling apart, or they're dealing with a medical emergency, a handful of safety pins becomes priceless. My setup? I carry a small tin of safety pins in various sizes, from tiny ones for delicate tasks to larger ones for heavy-duty repairs. They're cheap, versatile, and take up almost no space. So ask yourself, do you have these tiny lifesavers in your kit, or are you planning to improvise when things go wrong? Because when the world falls apart, the guy with safety pins is the one who keeps it all together. 13. Trash bags, the survival tool hiding in plain sight. Trash bags might not seem like much, but in a survival situation, they're worth their weight in gold. These cheap, lightweight, and incredibly versatile items are one of the most overlooked tools in any prepper's arsenal. When disaster strikes, a simple trash bag can do more than you ever imagined. Let's start with shelter. A heavy-duty trash bag can be turned into an emergency poncho, keeping you dry when the rain won't stop. Cut it open, and you've got a tarp to cover your gear or create a makeshift roof. Need insulation? Stuff a trash bag with leaves, grass, or clothing, and you've got a survival blanket that traps heat and keeps you warm. But trash bags aren't just for staying dry. They're also essential for water collection. Line a hole in the ground, and you've got a container for rainwater. Use one to create a solar still, and you can turn contaminated water into something drinkable. In a world where clean water is life, trash bags are a game changer. Now let's talk about hygiene. In a collapse, sanitation becomes a major issue. Trash bags let you safely dispose of waste, keeping your camp clean and reducing the risk of disease. They can also be used to store dirty clothes, separate contaminated items, or even as a makeshift shower when filled with water and hung in the sun. And the uses don't stop there. Trash bags can be used to carry supplies, protect electronics from rain, or even as a flotation device in an emergency. Need to block out light or create privacy? A black trash bag does the job. Trade value? Through the roof. When everyone else is soaked, cold, or struggling to stay clean, a single heavy-duty trash bag becomes a survival currency. People will trade food, water, or even tools for something as simple as staying dry. My setup? I carry a roll of contractor-grade trash bags in my bug-out bag. They're thicker, tougher, and far more reliable than the cheap grocery store kind. So ask yourself, do you have this survival Swiss Army knife in your kit? Or are you planning to go without? Because when the world falls apart, the guy with trash bags isn't just surviving, he's thriving. 14 bandanas, the cloth that does it all. A bandana might seem like a simple piece of cloth, but in a survival situation, it's one of the most versatile tools you can carry. Lightweight, cheap, and easy to pack, a single bandana can serve dozens of purposes when the world around you starts to crumble. Let's start with the obvious, protection. A bandana can be tied around your face to shield you from dust, smoke, or debris. In a collapse, air quality can go downhill fast, whether it's from fires, collapsed buildings, or just the chaos of the environment. A bandana won't replace a gas mask, but it's a quick and effective barrier when you need to breathe easier. But that's just the beginning. A bandana can be used as a head covering to protect you from the sun, keeping you cool and preventing heat stroke. In cold weather, it can be wrapped around your neck or face for added warmth. Got sweat dripping into your eyes while you're working? Use it as a sweatband. Now let's talk first aid. A bandana can be folded into a sling for an injured arm, used as a tourniquet to stop bleeding, or even as a pressure bandage for wounds. It's also great for tying splints or securing makeshift bandages when you're out of medical supplies. Need to filter water? A bandana can act as a pre-filter, removing dirt and debris before you purify it. It can also be used to strain food, wrap up supplies, or even as a makeshift bag for carrying small items. And let's not forget signaling. A brightly colored bandana can be tied to a stick or waved to attract attention. It's lightweight, visible, and easy to use in an emergency. Trade value? Hi. When people are dealing with dust, sweat, or injuries, a clean bandana becomes a valuable commodity. It's small, portable, and endlessly useful, making it a great item for barter. My setup? I carry 3 bandanas in different colors. One for first aid, one for general use, and one for signaling. They're lightweight, take up almost no space, and have saved me more times than I can count. So ask yourself, do you have this simple yet powerful tool in your kit? Or are you planning to improvise with scraps of cloth? Because when the world falls apart, the guy with a bandana is the one who's ready for anything. 15. Steel wool, the survival tool you didn't know you needed. Steel wool might seem like something you'd only use to scrub pots, but in a survival situation, it's a hidden gem. This cheap, lightweight material has a surprising number of uses that can make all the difference when disaster strikes. Let's start with fire. Steel wool, when combined with a battery, becomes one of the easiest and most reliable fire-starting tools you can carry. Simply touch the steel wool to the terminals of a 9-volt battery, and it ignites instantly. It works even in wet conditions, making it a lifesaver when your matches are soaked and your lighter is out of fuel. But steel wool isn't just for fire, it's also a great cleaning tool. In a collapse, keeping your cookware clean is essential to avoid illness. Steel wool scrubs away grime, rust, and residue without the need for soap or water. It's tough, reusable, and gets the job done when other cleaning supplies are long gone. Now let's talk about repairs. Steel wool can be used to patch small holes in metal containers, seal gaps in pipes, or even stuff into cracks to keep rodents and insects out of your shelter. It's flexible, durable, and easy to mold into whatever shape